Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. Today we are smoking up our very own Birria Tacos on the Pellet Grill. Let's get started. First things first, we gotta get our beef. And in this case, I have a chuck roast. It's actually on the smaller side. I would have preferred a bigger one, but they sent me one about 2 pounds. 5 pounds is probably what I'd be looking for, especially for, it's one of those amount of effort versus yield. I think more would be better. But just basic trimming. Gonna take off any crazy hard fat that I don't think will render well. And a little bit over here. All in all, looks pretty good to me. And then basically what we're gonna do is just give it a nice light coating in our rub. I will have the ingredients down below. Now this is obviously gonna get braised. So we're just adding some more flavor as it cooks, and then the braise will be probably most of the flavor that comes onto this. We are gonna throw this onto the smoker at 225 degrees. Basically our method is we're gonna take it onto the top rack, and then underneath it we're gonna put our pan with our braising liquid. That way it can collect anything that comes off of here, and it starts to all come together, the flavors meld, all that. But basically what we wanna do now, get the temperature on the smoker up, throw this on, and then put together that braising pot. For our braising liquid, we're gonna take a whole onion, cut in half, a whole head of garlic. I took off some of the skin and then chopped the top off. 2 roughly cut up Poblano Peppers, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of cumin, and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I'm also gonna chuck in a couple of bay leaves for good measure. And then for the liquid, I am using beef broth. I chose unsalted, so I can kind of figure out how much salt I want to put in here. You can use salted if you want, just be aware that there is quite a lot of salt in these sometimes. So you don't want to add any extra salt. There we have it. I'm going to put this onto the smoker underneath our meat and hopefully collect some of those delicious drippings. If you're following along at home, here's our setup. Like I said, meat on top, braising liquid down below. We're gonna run this for 3-4 hours maybe just to get the bark to set and build some smoke flavor, and then we're gonna pop this into the liquid and then braise to finish the cook. But let's let it do its thing at 225 for a couple hours. 4 hours in, I just took our beef and our braising liquid inside. Now our beef had a nice set bark, everything was looking good. So I took it, obviously put it into the braising liquid. At this point, I bumped the temperature on the smoker up to 275, and this is gonna go right back on. And then we are just gonna let it sit in the, probably simmering at some point, braising liquid. It's gonna get all those juices absorbed, and we're taking it to the point where it pulls apart, which is probably 203, somewhere in there. So back onto the smoker, 275, and just let it do its thing. Now as it's running, you might notice that the liquid is going down because it's evaporating. You can keep adding in more beef stock or just water at this point. There's enough, flavor in there. Some water will probably do the job just fine. So just make sure the level stays high enough where it's mostly covered. And you can keep flipping it, which is probably what I'm gonna do, just to make sure that both sides, neither side gets dried out. But this looks good. Back onto the smoker we go. 8 hours in, and we are probing about 200 plus degrees, which means this is time to be pulled. What I'm going to do is take this, put it inside, and then wrap it in tin foil, and then just let everything kind of come down to a reasonable temperature, somewhere around 160, and that's where I'm going to pull it. So this is going to come off, it's going to go just onto my counter with a wrap over the top of it, tin foil wrap, and just let it just do its thing, calm down. Then we'll pull it and start to make our tacos. So after letting our meat come down to a normal temperature, around 140 degrees, I took our lid off, shredded it, took some of our braising liquid and poured it on top, and now it looks fantastic and it smells incredible. The next step here is to actually assemble our tacos. So what I'm going to do is take a frying pan, heat it up, take some tortillas, dip it into our braising liquid, get them nice and soaked. Then we're gonna put our tortillas onto the frying pan, let them start to really crisp up and burn. And then I'm gonna fill the inside with cheese and some of our birria mix, then flip it over, actually crisp up the tacos on either side, and that's how we're gonna actually make them. You can serve it with some of the braising liquid, you can serve it with sour cream, some pico, whatever you want. But the most important thing now is I wanna get this nice and soaked up and put it onto a hot pan to allow it to start to heat up, and then fill it up with all of our shenanigans, including our fantastic looking meat, and make some great tacos. Let's give it a go, guys. And the result, guys, is this beautiful looking kind of fried taco. I mean, That looks fantastic. I cannot wait to just dip this in sour cream and just enjoy it. But most importantly, let's cut a piece off, show you what we're working with, and have the taste test. From the side, you can see we got some nice smoke ring on that beef. Oh my Lanta, it looks good. And I'm starving, so let's give it the old-fashioned chomp. Guys, Birria Tacos kind of took over, at least where I live recently in the last year or two, for good reason. They are so good. You've got the delicious slow-roasted meat sitting in that beautiful juice, and as you cook it over a long period of time, all the flavors from the vegetables and the seasoning all come together. My Lanta, it is super good. And doing it on the smoker, we're just adding an extra dimension. We're putting on a little bit of smoke flavor on top of what is already a fantastic meal. The pellet smoker makes this super easy to do, especially if you have multiple racks. You can kind of put it over top, let your juices flow into your liquid. Guys, this is a really, really good one, and I think we're probably gonna end up doing this kind of on the regular. So let me know your thoughts down below. Have you guys ever made these types of tacos before? Do you ever braise your tacos in any type of liquid, or you just do the standard, cook your meat up, throw them in a tortilla, call it a day? Be very interested to know what your guys' thoughts are. Give this one a try. It's absolutely not too difficult, and adding that smoke adds such a good extra dimension. As always, guys, if you could give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, it really helps me feel nice and fuzzy on the inside. And most importantly, cook something fantastic, guys, and I will see you on the next barbecue. Bye-bye.